You create the narrative.
I am MetaHuman.
I am a MetaHuman, the next generation of digital human powered by Unreal Engine. MetaHumans are high-fidelity digital characters created by you, the user, on our new content creation platform, MetaHuman Creator. I am fully rigged, ready for animation and motion capture, allowing you to work in context. With everything running live in Unreal Engine, my motion works seamlessly
On other characters. I have 8 levels of detail and have been tested on a wide range of hardware platforms, from feature film to mobile. If you're interested in learning about my animation rig or high-fidelity deformations, built on Control Rig, the new strand-based hair system via the Groom component, or how everything is tied together and animated in Sequencer, then have a look under the hood in this project. This is just a glimpse of things to come.
Mr. Ponton, I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings. You might want to take
we're
a
trying
look.
to, can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's a filter.
It is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but I'm prepared to go forward with it. I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I can see that.
On a Mirror World, you might consider, if you like this longer form content, supporting me on Patreon and Subscribestar. Of course, a mirror is in the description if you're watching it on Patreon and Subscribestar. And as always, let's just really get right into it. Let's start with a little bit of humor and some memes, then we'll get into the clip reel, and then 2 of our stories. A strange patent on gravity-based engines in spacecraft, or craft in general, I guess, as well as more regarding UFOs. Well, here's AOC, of course, stating Nam was hell. If you don't get the joke, it's the equivalent of AOC stating that she was at the Capitol when all that stuff went down, when in fact she was in another building entirely. Also, here is another meme going around, and people wonder why the government won't tell you the truth about aliens. And there you have one of the hallmarks of 2019, of course, 2020, and that is when everyone was hoarding toilet paper for some unknown reason. Probably should be hoarding canned food, at least if it had turned out as bad as everyone thought it was. Remember, the WHO said the fatality rate, or case fatality rate, was 3.6. Of course, it was nowhere near there at all. In fact, it's in the points, or 0.05 or something around there. Here's a family meeting. Everyone's dressed in plastic. Just a note, plastic would not save you from a virus in this particular instance, because those specially designed plastic outfits that medical staff wear in some Ebola movie, those are used in combination with, of course, a disinfectant spray, which they spray over their body before they remove it. Because if you're removing it with your own hands, then of course it's the outside of it which has the infection on it. Of course, you all know my opinions on the virus. I'm just noting the ridiculous nature of this. But hey, that's what it is. This person appears to be wearing some kind of scuba diving thing so they can breathe through the plastic. Welcome to 2020, or now 2021. Of course, 2 masks are not enough. Everyone's stating now you should quadruple mask. In fact, here's a meme going around of someone, I think they've got a dozen masks on them. Now, Fauci is the same person that said in that 60 Minutes interview when all this coronavirus stuff was happening that masks were not effective and should be saved for who? Medical personnel only, and that the general public would not benefit from mask wearing. Well, I don't know what's going on here, but masks have been a symbol of whether you obey, the government's mandates or not, or whatever the case is. Masks have to be worn now, they all state. Of course, here in New Zealand, I walk around and I don't see anybody wearing a mask at all. Of course, it's different in Australia, I guess. Here is the state of the media. 1 egg a day lowers your risk of type 2 diabetes. Controversial study says it promotes fatty acids that protect you from disease. That's in January 2019, and here you have in November 2020, eating just 1 egg a day increases your risk of diabetes by 60%. See, this is a bombardment that happens non-stop to people 24/7 with different articles. It just creates this it creates a cognitive dissonance, because you get to insert these kinds of this information on 2 sides of the spectrum. If you believe both simultaneously, of course, you are turning into a zombie. And this is with everything. Okay, this is just an example in relation to eggs themselves. Of course, there's no shortage of that. Meanwhile, MI5, I should say MI6, according to 𝓼-𝓂𝓊𝓉𝓒 or .co.uk, MI6 is recruiting foreign-born spies for the first time to improve diversity. Look at that building, by the way. Do you ever see anything that looks more kind of like out of 1984 than the MI6 building, MI5 in there, I guess, as well. Let's go into the clip reel. Of course, I'll provide a summary after I play it. You've probably seen some of these things. I just want to talk about them briefly when I return. So let's play it here and I'll be back afterwards.
Oh, it's on. Release the meteor! Oh!
He's looking at you, kid.
I dig it.
That felt pretty great.
Number one, did President Trump ever sign into action the Insurrection Act?
No. Nonsense.
Nonsense. Is the United States military running the country, or just is that nonsense as well?
More nonsense.
Good to hear.
More nonsense. There's no plan. There's so many people out there. Is the plan happening? We have what we have, and we have to accept the situation as it is.
There's a chapel in Kansas, standing on the exact center of the lower 48. It never closes. All are more than welcome to come meet here in the middle. It's no secret. The middle has been a hard place to get to lately, between red and blue, between servant and citizen, between our freedom and our fear. Now, fear has never been the best of who we are. And as for freedom, it's not the property of just the fortunate few. It belongs to us all. Whoever you are, wherever you're from, it's what connects us. And we need that connection. We need the middle. We just have to remember the very soil we stand on is common ground. So we can get there. We can make it to the mountaintop, through the desert, and we will cross this divide. Our light has always found its way through the darkness. And there's hope on the road up ahead.
Mom, how come the Super Bowl and the Six Nations can be played, but I can't play sport with my friends? Because the government said it's the rules. How come Dad's business is closed down, but Amazon's isn't, even though the World Health Organization said lockdowns were unnecessary? And how come the Amazon guys can deliver all over the country, but we can't go beyond 5k? Because the government said it's the rules. How come we're getting PCR tested, even though we're completely healthy? Because the government said it's the rules. How come the guards can dance on television, but we can't go to our friends' houses? Because the government said it's the rules. How come people are wearing 2 masks now, even though Fauci said they were completely unnecessary last year? Because the government said it's the rules. How come we can't hug our nan and granddad? Because the government said it's the rules. How come you can buy cigarettes but I can't buy toys? Because the government said it's the rules. Will you get the vaccine even if there is a 99% recovery rate? If the government says. Who governs the government, Mommy? We do, dear. Could you ask the government, can we start living again?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Have a lovely, lovely sip of my coffee right here. Get all zipped up. Of déjà vu. I'll tell you all about it in my unfortunately necessary segment, Don and the Giant Impeach 2 Go Fast. We're furious.
Here I am, a big, big, fat, dumb bastard. I did a horrible job. A horrible job. I did a horrible job. A horrible job. Here I am, a big, big, fat, dumb bastard. I did a horrible job. A horrible job. I did a horrible job. He did a horrible job, yeah.
I smell a hit.
We will stop the steal. Today I will lay out just some of the evidence proving that we won this election, and we won it by a landslide. This was not a close election. And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
Yeah!
Take the Capitol. Take the Capitol. Take the Capitol.
Donald Trump's impeachment team is counting on a couple of words from the former president's speech on January the 6th. They will lean heavily on Trump's use of the words, quote, peacefully and patriotically when they make their case in the Senate. And that's part of the defense against the charge that Trump incited a mob of supporters to storm the Capitol. House impeachment managers focused on Trump urging supporters to, quote, fight like hell.
Donald Trump has already done a number of things which legitimately raise the question of impeachment.
I don't respect this president, and I will fight every day until he is impeached.
That is grounds to start impeachment proceedings. Those are grounds to start impeachment. Those are grounds to start impeachment proceedings. Yes, I think that's grounds to start impeachment proceedings.
I rise today, Mr. Speaker, to call for the impeachment of the President of the United States of America.
I continue to say, impeach him! Impeach 45!
calling upon the House to begin impeachment hearings immediately.
On the impeachment of Donald Trump, would you vote yes or no?
I would vote yes. I would vote.
This makes one of the strongest cases so far. Impeachment has been their strategy since the start.
Thousands of votes. They came in duffel bags. Where the hell did they come from?
Off the sidewalk. Stand up for him. Stand up for him. We outnumber you 1,000,000 to 1 out here. Take the vote! Take the vote! Fuck these kids. Join us! That's enough! There's more coming!
The Constitution says you have to protect our country, and you have to protect our Constitution. And you can't vote on fraud. And fraud breaks up everything, doesn't it? When you catch somebody in a fraud, you're allowed to go by very different rules. So I hope Mike has the courage to do what he has to do.
Talk about you,
We fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Fuck you, police! Fuck you!
So we're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I love Pennsylvania Avenue. And we're going to the Capitol. And we're going to try and give our Republicans, the weak ones, because the strong ones don't need any of our help. We're going to try and give them the kind of pride and boldness that they need to take back our country.
Get the fuck out of here, you traitors! Get him back the fuck!
Majority Leader. We're debating a step that has never been taken in American history. President Trump claims the election was stolen. The assertions range from specific local allegations to constitutional arguments to sweeping conspiracy theories. But my colleagues, nothing before us proves illegality anywhere near the massive scale that would have tipped the entire election.